Hello and welcome to tonight's LPL Esports Roundup. We're going to cover the LCS series from 2 days ago. I forgot to put it on yesterday's Roundup. As well as the LPL Regional Finals, LCK Playoffs. Preview the LCK Playoff Series. Tomorrow I'm 259 and 126 in predictions. I believe I went 2-1 on this board. Golden Guardians NRG. NRG get the upset 3-1. Have not lost to a team with a winning record, if I recall, so watch out, all Worlds teams. NRG beat everybody with a winning record. CLG of old have a new look, and they're going to Worlds. This determined a World slot. CLG, now NRG, are going to Worlds. FBI was MVP 28, 11, and 26, 33% of damage. Contracts looked excellent, 17, 8, and 38 in the jungle. Gory, 12, 15, 26, 28% of damage in the loss. It was not a clean series, a lot of throwing back and forth. Game 1, a big throw by Golden Guardians. FBI being a key to the success in the comeback, as well as Palafox. FBI on Kesa, Palafox on Azir, if I recall correctly. Then it was just messy. Games 2 and 3 were really close, and then in Game 4, NRG were able to open up a 5K gold lead by 20 minutes, which was outside of the Golden Guardians throw in Game 1, the really, lopsided other laning phase we had in this series. I felt like in top lane, Licorice did get the better of Dokla throughout this one. Dokla had a couple nice plays. I think he even outplayed a dive at one point. But Licorice was given a little more power in composition. I think he played Rumble twice. In terms of jungle, so Golden Guardians, Gory had some moments that looked good in this series, but not enough. I thought Palafox had more pop-off moments. River, I thought was good at times. The Jarvan especially, obviously a River special. His engages were on point. The follow-up wasn't always there. Stixxay had some nice, I keep saying nice moments, but he popped off on Kesa, in my opinion, in this series. There were some moments where Stixxay was really all that Golden Guardians had. However, none of these players were able to match NRG. Contracts playing Nidalee in Game 2 looked pretty good, given the fact that Nidalee kind of stinks, and I'm not a big... putting a North American player on Nidalee is a bold move. Game 4 on the Viego, he solo carried. He was excellent. Double-digit kills. River did not have one of those impact games, and he needed to. A lot of people considering him in the MVP conversation. Tomorrow, my goal is to get the LCS All-Pro Teams video done, as well as the LCK one. And I don't think he is the MVP for the LCS based on the stats. But there are people that think that he is MVP, and I think he is what made Golden Guardians go. However, Gory, I just felt like he didn't step it up as much as River. It is what it is. I thought Palafox got the better of him. LPL EDG Weibo. Weibo are going to Worlds as well. Final slot goes to them as they win 3-1. Light was MVP, 32, 6, and 15, 35% of damage. Xiaohu, 13, 6, and 32 in mid. So the mid jungle, 2 carries for Weibo went 45, 12, and 47. Very dominant performance. Fofo, 15, 15, 11, 30% of damage in the loss. EDG had Game 4. A massive lead in Game 4. And they threw. Light able to get some picks. There were games where Light had all the kills when the games were close. He was just jumping in on Kesa, jumping in on Aphelios, making things happen. Crisp also looking good. The bot lane duo got the better of Uzi Mako. There was, I think, one game where Uzi Mako were able to get a 2v2 kill, but otherwise, outside of that moment, I felt like the Weibo bot lane was better. The Shy and Ale, clearly topside was important to both teams, taking trips up there, and the Shy finding relevance afterwards. After some serious camping going on up there, the Ornn coming through for him. I think he played it twice, actually, in this one. Weiwei, I debated making him MVP. His game 1 on Poppy was excellent. He set the pace, really gapped JJ in that one and set a tone. However, in game 2, I thought that Wei kind of took a back seat. And then for the rest of the series, I mean, his Poppy games, so 1 and 4, were his best, in my opinion. I thought the Sejuani wasn't quite up to it, and I think he played Rel in the other one, and that wasn't quite up to snuff. However, the Poppy games were better than anything JJ had. If it wasn't for Fofo and Uzi coming through in some team fights, one could argue this could have been a 3-0. On the Jace, Fofo was trying to be really aggressive, and it worked out for them in one of the games, and Uzi on the Zaya as well. Unfortunately, in game 4, though, they did open a lead. Everybody had their picks. Fofo on LeBlanc, Ale on Fiora, and everything was going the right way for EDG to set up a game 5, and unfortunately, they just started getting picked off left and right and lost the series. A team that, I was building a narrative for, that Uzi follows the deft path, right, and then goes and wins Worlds, and it just isn't the case. Maybe this is the last time we see Uzi. I thought he was very good all the way to the bitter end, so I'd like to think he gets an opportunity next year. I know that I don't know, but I presume he's not going to take some half-assed team. It's going to have to be a good team that wants him. And maybe it is EDG after the leave situation. I don't know. There are only so many decent slots left. And at the same time, there are quite a few AD carries that one could argue are better than Uzi at this point in his career. LCK, DRX, HLE 3-0 DRX. This was not a clean 3-0, but it was a 3-0 nonetheless. Zeka MVP, his Yone in game 2 and Nico in game 3 I thought were integral to setting HLE apart. Game 1, I think he played Azir, and it was solid as well. Viper, 24, 8, and 39, 32% of damage. Kingen, 16, 5, 36, so Kingen coming through clutch against Rascal. Fate, 12, 12, 15, 27% of damage in the loss. So game 1, HLE set quite a tone. I will say I thought Grizzly was exposed quite a bit by Kroko in this one. A couple solo kills by a jungler who I'd consider worse than Grizzly. And that is HLE's, black eye, if you will, going into playoffs. I mean, there's a very inexperienced jungler. Is it going to be the thing that holds him back from going to Worlds? I don't know. But I will say that they need to do some work with him, because if Kroko can do this, the other 4 junglers left can certainly do it to him. So he needs to, VOD review and figure out where he went wrong. Otherwise, though, the other 4 players for HLE just were way better than DRX's players. Hell, even Life was setting the tone on Nautilus, and Beryl was inting his face off throughout this series, in my opinion. Leona, his Alistar wasn't very good either. Paddock, I mean, he was out of his depth, and that's okay. For his whole season, I thought he played better than I expected. He clearly showed growth, and that was important. There were moments in this series where he just dove in on Zaya, trying so hard to get something going, and just couldn't get it done as HLE were gapping them. Zeka going in on the Yone. In game 2, DRX had a lead, and they threw, because Zeka making some plays alongside Grizzly on the Nocturne, as well as Kingen on the Aatrox, and that was important, setting things up. But, like I said, it wasn't a clean 3-0. And that's because HLE had to come back in game 2. And game 3 was a sloppy 50-kill mess. It looked like an LPL special. Something you'd see even out of Vietnam, maybe. Just an absolute chaotic mess. And HLE came out ahead. So that prepares them for the LPL if they go to Worlds, I guess. Viper ends up with a ton of kills, but I felt like Viper was just cleaning up. Obviously dealt a lot of damage, but I thought Zeka was more important. So that's an expected result. I think I predicted both of these series accurately. If I recall, sneak peek for tomorrow, LCK T1D+. They've played 4 times, splitting 2-2. I did compare top, jungle, and AD carry, because mids don't match up and supports don't match up across all 4 of these games. So both AD carries led their team in damage. Gumayushi 21, 12, 33 with only 26% of the team's damage, so an even spread amongst the roles. Very different for D+. Deft 19, 14, 28, and 39% of damage. So a very different look out of D+. That's a lot more damage than what Guma delivered across the 4 games. So clearly it was bot side focus for D+ versus T1, who everybody had a hand in it. I think even Owner had a double-digit kill Viego game against D+. I will say there was a difference in jungle. That was almost like the offset, right? So we see a big difference in percentage here, and I think Owner dealt more than twice the amount of damage as Canyon. So, we'll see how that goes tomorrow. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, like it. Subscribe to the channel for daily League of Legends content. Follow me on Twitter. Join the Discord. Become a YouTube supporter. Hope to see you again tomorrow.